Prime Minister Narendra Modi hosted the champions of the Women's World Cup at his residence in New Delhi on Wednesday. Prime Minister Modi congratulated the team for the victory and praised their remarkable comeback in the tournament after a string of 3 defeats and the trolling they faced on social media back then. Captain Harmanpreet Kaur recalled meeting Prime Minister in 2017 without the trophy, and she highlighted that they met him now with the trophy and wish to meet him more often. Vice Captain Smriti Mandhana said Prime Minister had motivated them and has been an inspiration for all of the players. She also spoke about how the girls are doing well in all fields. Harmanpreet asked the Prime Minister how he managed to always remain in the present, to which the Prime Minister said that being in present has been a part of his life and it has become his habit. Prime Minister Modi also asked the women cricket players to take forward the message of Fit India movement, especially to girls across the country. He discussed the growing problem of obesity and highlighted the importance of being fit. He also asked them to go to their schools and motivate young minds there.
भारत में क्रिकेट एक खेल नहीं है, एक प्रकार से भारत के लोगों की जिंदगी बन गया है और क्रिकेट में अच्छा होता है तो भारत अच्छा फील करता है और क्रिकेट में थोड़ा सा भी इधर होगा तो पूरा भारत हिल जाता है। आपको भी जब 3 मैच लगातार हारे तो जो ट्रोलिंग सहना है।
सर, मुझे अभी भी याद है कि जब हम 2017 में आपको मिले थे, उस टाइम हम ट्रॉफी के साथ नहीं आए थे, लेकिन ये हमारे लिए बहुत ऑनर की बात है कि इस बार हम आपको जिसके लिए हम इतने सालों से मेहनत कर रहे हैं वो ट्रॉफी यहाँ पे लेकर आ पाए और आपने आज हमारी खुशी वो 2 गुना और ज़्यादा बढ़ा दी है और हमारे लिए ये बहुत ऑनर की बात है। और अभी हमारा यही एम है कि हम फ्यूचर में आपको बार बार मिले और बार बार आपके साथ टीम के साथ फोटोज खिंचाते रहे।
देश की बेटियों ने कमाल कर दिया। 2 साल से लगे हैं सर, मेहनत इतनी की है, कमाल की मेहनत की है इन्होंने। हर प्रैक्टिस सेशन में उतनी ही इंटेंसिटी से खेले, हर प्रैक्टिस सेशन में उतनी ही एनर्जी से उतरे ग्राउंड में। यही कहूँगा कि इनकी मेहनत रंग लाई।
हम जब 2017 में आए थे ट्रॉफी नहीं लेके आए थे, बट मुझे याद है हमने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था एक्सपेक्टेशंस के बारे में आपको, और वो आंसर अभी भी और वो चीज़ काफ़ी हेल्प करी थी हम लोगों को कि नेक्स्ट 6-7 ईयर्स हमने बहुत कोशिश करी, बट काफ़ी वर्ल्ड कप्स हार्ट ब्रेक्स हुए हमारे। बट ये वर्ल्ड कप फाइनली आई थिंक डेस्टिनी थी कि इंडिया में ही पहला वर्ल्ड कप आएगा विमेंस का। बट आई मीन आप हमेशा से सबके इंस्पिरेशन ही रहे, और स्पेशली आई मीन हर फील्ड में जिस तरह से लड़कियां अभी आई मीन हर फील्ड में सब जगह हमको सिर्फ लड़कियां दिख रही है, जहाँ पे भी वो इसरो का लॉन्च हुआ या जो भी हो, तो सब चीज़ें हम लोग सब जब भी देखते तो इंस्पिरेशन ही है और मोटिवेशन है हमारे लिए कि हम और भी अच्छा काम कर पाए और लड़कियों को मोटिवेट कर पाए।
आई थिंक जब हम वो 3 मैच हारे, I think a team is actually defined by not how many times you win, but how you can pick yourself up after a fall. And I feel that this team has done that the best, and that's why this team is a champion team. And the other thing that I would say about this team, sir, कि जो ये unity था ये team में, I think this is the best I've seen. Because जब whenever anyone was doing well, सभी खुश हो जा रहे थे, सभी तालियां मार रहे थे, एज इफ उन लोग खुद ने वो जाके वो स्कोर किया या विकेट्स लिए। और वेन एवर समवन वॉज डाउन, देयर वॉज ऑलवेज समवन जाके अपना हाथ उनके शोल्डर पे डाल रहे थे और बोल रहे कोई बात नहीं, तू नेक्स्ट मैच में करेगी। एंड आई थिंक दैट डिफाइंड द टीम।
मेरे को याद है आपने 2017 में मेरे को बोला था कि वही एक प्लेयर है जो उठ के चलना सीखे, उठ के अपने फेलियर से बाहर निकले, बस लगे रहो, मेहनत करते रहो, मेहनत करना मत छोड़ो। तो आपका वो एक वर्ड मुझे मतलब हमेशा मोटिवेट करता है। और मैं आपकी स्पीच सुनती रहती हूँ, मतलब जब भी ऐसे टाइम मिलता है तो आप बहुत कूल एंड काम रहते हैं अपने उसमें, जो क्योंकि काफ़ी लोग बहुत कुछ बोलते हैं लेकिन उसमें भी आप इतना कामली चीज़ें हैंडल करते हैं, तो वो मुझे पर्सनली अपने गेम में हेल्प करता है।
जब मैं बाहर बैठी हुई थी और जब हम वर्ल्ड कप जीते, तो वैसे मैं टेक्निकली स्क्वाड में नहीं थी, मैं 16 प्लेयर थी, बट सर मेरे को जैसे व्हील चेयर पे ही स्टेज पे खड़ा करा, वैसे ही सारी मतलब सम्मान दिया, वो सब दिया। तो ये टीम सर एक फैमिली की तरह है। तो जब आप सारे प्लेयर्स का एक मतलब रिस्पेक्ट करते हो, जब सारे प्लेयर्स को एक जैसा फील कराते हो, तो वो एक फैमिली जब एक साथ इकट्ठे होकर खेलती है तो सर उस टीम को हराना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है।
पापा को क्रिकेटर बनना था तो पापा नहीं बन पाए, तो पापा ने अपनी छवि अपने बच्चों में दी। मेरा भाई और मैं खेलते थे, तो आई थिंक हम मैच देखते रहते थे, तो बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट बन गया क्रिकेट का, इसलिए मैं क्रिकेटर बन गई।
हम लोगों ने यही डिसाइड किया था कि सबके सक्सेस में तो सब साथ होते हैं, लेकिन जब किसी का डाउनफॉल चलता है तो उस टाइम और भी ज़्यादा साथ देना ज़रूरी है। तो हमने एज अ टीम, एज अ यूनिट वही डिसाइड किया था कि कुछ भी हो जाए हम लोग एक दूसरे का साथ नहीं छोड़ेंगे और हमेशा एक दूसरे को ऊपर ही रखेंगे। तो आई थिंक ये बेस्ट था हमारी टीम का।
हम 3 मैचेस हारे, बट सबसे बेस्ट पार्ट वही था कि हम हार में एक साथ थे सब लोग और एक दूसरे को बैक कर रहे थे, एक दूसरे से बात कर रहे थे, तो वो जेन्युइनली आ रहा था, प्योर आ रहा था, इसीलिए शायद भगवान ने हमको ये ट्रॉफी दी है।
Those were really some inspirational insights from these women cricket players who've emerged victorious after winning the Women's Cricket World Cup. And to discuss this, we have with us Rakesh Rao, senior sports journalist, joining us from New Delhi. Welcome, sir, to the program. First of all, tell us the great significance and implications of Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting and congratulating the members of the winning Indian women's cricket team, and how such meetings inspire and motivate Indian sportspersons to strive even harder for continued success.
Immensely, because I mean, I've been very like lucky to be able to interact with a lot of these Indian sports persons right across Olympic sports, besides cricket and other events. Every time they get to meet the PM, I mean, you don't have to be a sportsman to do well to meet him. I mean, any person getting a chance to have an audience with the PM, it is so special. I mean, it is not only special for that individual, it is special for the whole family. Now, for these people, I mean, this has been, I think, immensely important. And this is something that stays with you. Now, in the last 5 minutes or so, whatever we heard, I mean, it is like it can give you goosebumps even to a person who need not necessarily be a sports lover. It is like people talking about their travails, their tough, the kind of upbringing that most of these people have had. They haven't had a smooth run. They've had their share of disappointments, but to come back and share it with the PM who is genuinely interested. I mean, when I say genuinely interested, I can say that because in the last about 40 years of my association with Indian sports as a journalist, and before that as an athlete, I mean, I know that this is not something which used to happen earlier. It is just that, I mean, whatever that we have seen, especially in the last 11 years, I mean, whether you win or lose, before you go, the PM meets you over a cup of tea. He wishes everybody. And when the team returns with what quantum of success, he still meets you. Now, this is where I think people get really inspired. And these girls, what they shared in the last, last evening, I mean, especially the last evening, I mean, this is going to stay with them. It is not just about winning the medal and being there or winning the cup and being there. This kind of thing motivates you no end. And this Prime Minister, over a period of time, has won the hearts of Indian sports people across the spectrum. And a lot of other countries, I mean, I know people from other nations, when they say that your Prime Minister meets people, whether they win or lose, I said, yeah, he does. I mean, even when the team didn't win, he was there in the Indian dressing room, if you recall, 2023. So lots of things have happened, and this kind of thing it's immense. I mean, you can't really quantify it, but yes, this is something that actually stays with you, and its recall value, you cannot even guess how huge the recall value is.
Indeed, Captain Harmanpreet Kaur also said that when they had visited him last in 2017, they did not have the trophy, but this time they had the trophy and the meeting got greater emphasis for them. On another level, sir, tell us something about the rise of Indian women's cricket and how it reached this level of international success. What factors and which persons and institutions were involved in their rise?
Well, before I answer that, I'll just add a bit of a background to it. I recall I was covering the Women's World Cup way back in the late 90s. I think it was 97-98 season, and that was the time when India was the host. At that time the BCCI was not involved in it. It was the WCA, the Women's Cricket Association, which used to run women's cricket in the country. Trust me, if the teams were to arrive on a Thursday, till about Monday, they didn't have the money to pay to the hotels where they had reserved the rooms, but the hotels had insisted that at least 72 hours before the team arrives, you have to make a certain amount of payment, the first installment or whatever it was. And they didn't have the money. And because they didn't have the sponsor. Imagine, those were the days. But luckily, one leading automobile company in this country, they decided, okay, we'll give you a token amount. And they didn't even ask for any receipt or something. He says, first you go and ensure that the rooms are booked. Now, from those days, we have come a long way. Those days we were not in contention. We were just good hosts. And we used to see England and Australia compete, or Australia win more often than not. But since those days, especially in the last few years, if you see, Indians are not just competing. They're not just participating against these countries. They're competing. They are in contention, and serious contention. And we have beaten some of these teams at home. And, those kind of results have helped them. Yes. Secondly, if you look at how these, why we were not doing well, I've been in interaction with a lot of coaches in the past, women's thing, and they would say that this team is a divided house. There's so much of infighting. There's so many, cat fights and stuff like that, which is reality. But this particular team has somehow shaken everything off and said, okay, let's stand for each other. Earlier, it used to be each one to oneself, but no, this time you could actually see it. And look at the way they're sounding. They're genuine. They're not faking it. So, and these girls, trust me, have not only just won the hearts of Indian women or the women folk. No, I think the entire nation is celebrating. Forget the gender for a moment. It is an impactful thing in every family of this country, because a lot of men and women now think that, yes, daughter or son, if they are doing well in sports, let them be, irrespective of where they come from, which city, what sort of background they have, financial, social, whatever it is. Now, this has been, full of goosebumps. Irrespective of how we made it, forget the performances on the field. It is the feeling which you're left with. And it has been, about 5 days now. But it is yet to sink in. The nation just cannot have enough of it. Be it the social media, the television channels, media, be it electronic or, print media. Everyone is celebrating, and these celebrations, nobody is, saying bahut zyada ho gaya. No, it is not. Because when they get trolled, nobody comes to, nobody says that, okay, enough is enough, let's stop. No, you troll them to crazy limits. But here, let them have their, moment, let them enjoy it. And the whole nation is celebrating with them. So I don't think this has ever happened before in women's cricket or in any discipline where women have done well. We know that in Olympic Games, the women have outshone the men, and we all celebrate that. This time it's great to see country's most popular sport, and that too, the World Cup in that sport, in the women coming to India and India winning it as hosts.
Indeed. Okay. Prime Minister Modi asked the members of the Indian women's cricket team to take forward the message of Fit India, especially to girls across the country. Would you agree that this is an extremely important message that the Prime Minister wishes to disseminate, regardless of the gender?
You nailed it, absolutely. Because what he said was that go to your schools. Now, this is something that I've been saying this and rather advocating it or virtually preaching it to a lot of youngsters and a lot of young champions of the country. Because in a country like Australia, when they were hosting the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games, that was the time when a lot of their prospective gold medalists, they went to different schools to tell people to come and watch Olympics. They did it 25 years ago. Now, at least if our sportsmen, out of 365 days, if they can spare 1 week in a year to go to their school, colleges, educational institutes, or various companies across this country and talk about sports, trust me, it's going to have an impact. And going to your school and saying, and also emphasizing the importance of being fit. Of course, if a larger majority of youngsters, they really take this seriously, we are definitely going to see a fit India.
Okay.
A fitter India at that, sorry.
Okay. On a broader level, what is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's policy of meeting with Indian sportspersons at every appropriate occasion mean for the encouragement of Indian sports?
I must say this is a great question, because I know that a lot of Olympic a lot of sports persons from the Olympic disciplines, when they meet, for them it is like the ultimate prize or a word of encouragement even before they leave, and also when they come back, and those who don't win anything, Prime Minister has the time and he feels how these people are feeling without the medal. And when they come, he'll put his hand on their shoulder and say, don't worry, you represented India, not everybody gets to meet them. And trust me, a lot of questions, a lot of people think that these are all planted ones. Some of them, the players know that they're likely to be asked. But Prime Minister is smart enough to actually checkmate them, and he'll ask something which surprises a lot of players, and surprises them so pleasantly. Because I can give you an example. Sharad Kamal and his partner, they won the mixed doubles gold in the last Commonwealth Games. And suddenly, the Prime Minister asked Sharad, he said, I saw both of you were having a chit-chat between the games. What were you talking? And for a second, he was taken aback. He said, sir, you noticed that. I'm so glad. And then, of course, he shared whatever he shared. So he can also surprise a lot of these people, and by the kind of interest that he takes. And also, full marks to his team, which does a fantastic homework. But the credit should go to the man who started it all. I mean, it's not easy for a Prime Minister to take time off, and he gives them time. It is not a rush sort of a thing. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yes. Captain Harmanpreet Kaur said that now the Indian women's cricket team has met the Prime Minister with the trophy. They wish to meet him more often. So with Prime Minister's inspiration and the team's hard work, can we now hope for many more victories for the Indian women's cricket team?
Well, let's get real. We are not the best team in the country, in the world as yet. But yes, this victory is going to, inspire them no end. Nothing succeeds like success is an old cliche. But trust me, once you get that habit of winning, and then now this team would like to meet the PM with the trophy every single time. But the Prime Minister is magnanimous enough to call them whether they win or not. But yes, nothing like going there with trophies. And trust me, India is going to win a lot more.
Okay, India is going to win a lot more. Thank you very much. On that note, we wind up this discussion. Thank you very much, Rakesh Rawji, for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me on the show.